Hello and welcome to this tutorial of Crusader Kings 2. This is going to be my first series on YouTube, so please bear with me. I'm going to show you how to play Crusader Kings 2. Important to know is that I don't own all of the downloadable content, but for the purposes of this video this should be more than enough, since the basic principles of the game never really changed throughout the release of new content DLCs. So first of all, Crusader Kings 2 is a game set in the Middle Ages, mainly in Europe. When you go to let's just start a game. Okay, so let's go to single player, and as you can see, you can choose your starting era. Let's just go for the earliest, so then you have all the time in the world. Well, not really, but around 700 years or so until the start of what's it called, Renaissance, which marked the end of the Middle Ages. You can always start as one of those historical figures that you can see here. I'm not that familiar with the non-European rulers, but if you're from there, maybe you can identify with them as well. But yeah, I think most in Europe will know Charlemagne, but there's other rulers as well, and for the most part this game tries to be historically accurate. So let's just go to custom game setup, and as you can see, the map covers all of Europe and also Northern Africa, the Middle East, all the way to India, which is not to scale because India is massive. And also, since the last content update, there's Tibet. China is not on the map. China is interacting with the map, though probably not in my let's play, because I don't have that DLC yet. I plan on getting it, but not for now. So as you can see, if you go click on this realms, this is independent realms. They are ruled by one ruler. This ruler is a member of a dynasty, and basically you can play as any ruler you want, as long as it is at least count level. A count is the head of one county. For example, let's say here in northern Italy, the county of Parma. The county of Parma is ruled by the Count of Parma, which is this guy, for example, and he has all kinds of stats, and, but you will see that in the game. Counties are grouped together to form duchies. Here you see the counties, and nice to notice is that when you go to modern countries, counties within those countries, they share a similar coloring. So the French ones there have this bluish purple coloring scheme, and the German counties all are sort of grey, and then Hungarian countries, they are this reddish, and the Irish are green, obviously. So what I'm going to do to just start the game up and get into it, I'm gonna play someone in Swabia. And that's because I'm from Swabia. So, not Bavaria, oh, those pesky Bavarians. No, I'm going to play someone in modern southwestern Germany, because I'm from there. I'm from Württemberg. So let's play someone from Württemberg. In this start date, 769, Württemberg is ruled by the Count of Württemberg, which is Count Eberhard. Ooh, nice hair. And he is his direct liege, his superior, is the Duke of Alemannia. So the Duchy of Alemannia. Go to dukes. This is the Dukedom of Alemannia, and it encompasses most of modern day Switzerland, if I'm not incorrect. I don't know how much, if it goes any further. I think this is more or less, yeah, there's maybe a little bit of territory that's not in there. Yeah, this is Baden-Württemberg nowadays. This is Switzerland, and there's parts of the Alsace, and I think probably Luxembourg. Yeah, this is the Rhine River, and this is the modern day border between Germany and France and Luxembourg also. So I think it will oh no, wait, Luxembourg is over there. Okay. Yeah, okay, so this is the border up to around here, probably. Oh wait, here? No, I think it's here. And then it goes like this, and Metz is definitely France nowadays. And Trier is definitely German, so yeah. So the border goes like this. Doesn't matter really now, so we are going to start up the game as the Count of Württemberg, and we are going to enable Iron Man mode, which is to say that you can't save scum. You can't load up an earlier game if something bad happens. I'm just going to start with all the normal rules. Let's just start up the game. Iron Man, start. Iron Man. So now you see lots of pop-ups, lots of icons, lots and lots of text. So this can be a little bit intimidating when you are new to the game. But don't worry, I'll talk you over it. So I won't show. Yeah, this is all the special rules when you play a German Catholic Duke. But as you can see, German culture affects no special features. blah blah blah. We'll go over this in the playthrough later, and we are Catholic. Catholicism, faith in general, plays a big role in the Middle Ages, and I will also go over those rules while we encountered them, so to say. So, as you can see, there's no Germany, because at that point in history Germany did not exist. We have West Francia and we have Middle Francia, and we are part of Middle Francia. So there's King Carloman, which is our king, and he is the ruler of this domain, Middle Francia. He has a claim on the Empire of Francia, which encompasses a little bit more. If you go to the jure empires, you can see Francia is like this whole region, whereas Germania, where our part is a little bit to the east. And as you can see, the de jure empire and the actual kingdoms, they don't match. There's a certain overlap, but there's also stuff that's definitely outside of the de jure territory. And de jure basically means that by some kind of agreement, everyone or yeah, how to put it, it describes what is rightfully yours and what isn't. So if you say, yes, this county here of Württemberg, it has always been under the rule of the Duchy of Alemannia, and it has never been any other way, so it's basically a rule of political nature. And so it's easier for something if it is not only de facto, so in reality part of something, but also de jure, which means rightfully part of it. Okay, so let's talk about. Oh wait, no, I made a mistake. I have to reload the game. Sorry about that. I accidentally started not as the Count, but the Duke. But since we didn't start actually playing the game yet, it's not too bad. Okay. Mistakes happen. Yeah, you will get points at the end of your game, but since this game is so sandboxy, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so what I did wrong, I clicked on Württemberg, and then I clicked again, and now I'm the Duke, but I should have clicked yet another time to become the Count. So that was the problem. Basically, it's easier to play at higher levels of government. If you're a Duke, you have reign over all the counts. You don't have to hold those counties yourself, but you can have vassals that run the place for you, basically. Okay, so now I'm the Count of Württemberg, and I have a dead father, a dead grandfather, like you normally do. And I don't know if on the count level this is actually the guy that lived in that time. If he was, maybe we would have a Wikipedia link. The bigger characters, like for example the King of West Francia, he has a Wikipedia link. And you can click it and you go straight to the Wikipedia link and read up on this guy, because he really existed, as did his brother. Yeah. So we are here and we have this holding, Württemberg. Württemberg has 4 sub-holdings. The main holding here is Stuttgart, which is a city that really exists. It is the state capital of Baden-Württemberg, the modern state in Germany. And there is Reutlingen, Heilbronn and Asberg, which are all cities, and you have one empty holding and you can build a city or a temple or a castle there when you have the money to do that. Money you see here. You have a starting capital. As a count, it's basically nothing at the beginning. You have prestige, which shows you how famous you are and how well received your family is in the world of the of your surroundings, more or less. You have piety, which shows you how faithful you are, and all those are basically currencies that you can use in various ways. You have a domain size, which shows you how many holdings you can hold directly yourself without getting any penalties, and this is the number of holdings under your control, directly or indirectly. And as you can see, it's at 4, which means this is our main holding, which we are holding ourselves, and those 3 sub-holdings which are under our control. Those are most of the times controlled by the guy in charge. As you can see, they share the same emblem here, which shows that it's part of the Kingdom of Middle Francia. But sometimes those sub-holdings can be independent or vassals of someone other than the controller of the main holding. So this is us. We could have another hairstyle. Yeah, let's not go bald. Well, maybe let's do. Those are all horrible. Beard, maybe. Ooh. Let's go. Yeah, let's go with this beard. Okay, so this is us. This is our liege. If we click on him, we get to his page, and we can see that he has a liege himself. There's all kinds of mouse over information we can get. For example, we can see that we're the Count of Württemberg, we are the Steward of Alemannia. That means we hold office in our liege's court. We are the heir to the barony of Asberg, which is our subholding, which means that the guy in charge of this, Rudolf von Asberg, he doesn't have any heirs. If he marries and he gets a son or a daughter, it really depends on the realm laws. He can his heirs can inherit his holding, If he does not, it automatically goes back to his liege, which is us. So if he dies and he has no heirs, we will get control over the castle here. We have several neighbors. There are neighbors that are part of our realm, and there's neighboring realms. So we have 3 neighbors in our realm. We have Ulm, Fürstenberg, and Baden. Ulm and Fürstenberg are both controlled by our liege, and Baden is controlled by the Count Liutfrid of Baden. Which is interesting, since when he dies, the King of Bavaria will get his land. And since he's already 60 years old, not married, and this is the Middle Ages, this is not that improbable. Okay, let's check the other countries. There's Leiningen, Würzburg and Bamberg. Würzburg and Bamberg are both controlled by the Duke of Franconia, and he has an heir. Okay, Leiningen is controlled by Count Emmig of Leiningen, and he has no heir. Yeah, so you can see when the writing here is in red, then it's not a dynastic heir, and so this will be lost to the family after he dies. So you will die in this game, which is normal. It's nothing to worry about too much, as long as you have a dynastic heir. As long as your dynasty still is alive and inherits some kind of holding, as long as it is at least county level holding, you will be able to continue the game. Okay, so let's go through some more stuff. This is our county, the county of Württemberg. You can see how much money we will get in a year. It's 12 point almost 5 gold, and how much money we are going to pay our liege. So we pay taxes to our king or our duke, and those subholdings pay their tax to us. The stuff we hold directly gives us the tax directly. We can click on this, for example, and we get all those all this stuff that we can upgrade and buy and build if we have the money, which we have not, or the technology, which we have not. So this is something you can play around with a lot, but don't worry about it for now. Okay, so in order to expand your realm, you have to have a claim on what you're out to get. In order to get a claim, you have to either inherit a claim, or you have to have another good reason, a casus belli. So you can inherit a claim, you can forge a claim, you can use your chancellor to do that. So we don't want to piss off our liege. We don't want to go to war with another king, because the king is always protecting his vassals, and we are only one county count. we can't go up against the king of West Francia or Bavaria. So we will try to fight inside our realm, because then no king will come to his aid. It's always best to try to keep your realm connected, so what we will try is to fabricate a claim on the county of Baden. This is really good, if we can get it, since otherwise it will go to the king of Bavaria, and we don't want that. Bavarians have to keep on this side of the Danube River. Right? Yeah. Okay, so our main goal for now is to fabricate a claim on the county of Baden. The county of Baden has the same holdings as the county of Württemberg, just in another order. So we can check out, he has around 207 army levies, and we ourselves have 339, which should be enough. Okay, so this is what our chancellor will do. He will try to fabricate a claim, and he has a 6% chance per year to do so. The game is currently paused, as you can see here. So you can pause the game at any time, and you can change the speed. Normally it's like a day every few seconds at the lowest speed, and you can increase that speed. This is the competence of your respecting council members. The Chancellor with 11 is considered a quite competent diplomat. This guy, Stuart 1, he is really bad. He is considered a powerful vassal, but Baron level, which is this brown circle around the portrait, they are basically unimportant. So we will get a new one, and this stewardship is the important trait here. So we will go for Marquardt, because he is a lot better. And he will try to collect taxes, which means we get 27% more taxes in Württemberg. And we have a marshal with 16, this is quite good. And he will try to train troops, which increases our levy size. And as you can see, no, you can't, sorry. Okay, so we have a spy master, and the spy master, he could try to study technology. But I think it's probably better. No, let's simply go for technology. So the best thing to do is in Byzantium, because they are most advanced at that point in time. Trust me. Okay, so we have our Count Chaplain. Oh, that's funny. He shares the name with my father. Okay, so he's very important. Okay, let's see. What can we do with him? He can proselytize, which is not going to work, because as you can see here by clicking on religion, we're already all Catholic. so nothing to worry about here. Then we can research cultural tech, and we can improve religious relations, and we were going to do that with the Pope, because it's always good to have someone who is... It's always good to be on the good side of the Pope. Okay, so this is all before you start the game. You should always first manage everything you can manage while the game hasn't started, and that's one of the things. So this is what you do with the council. In my case, you could argue that scheming is also a good thing you can use your spy master for in the beginning. Spy network is better when you're a little bit more, when you're higher up in the hierarchy. Overseeing construction only works if you are going to build something, and you can only build something if you have the money, which in our case we don't. And you can research economy tech, but we will go to research in another part of the series. You can also choose to make them unavailable for combat, but that's also something to do in another video. We will now focus on what to do before the game actually starts. So we will check all these pop-ups. So first, special minor titles grantable. We can do so, but it's not important right now. Okay, so we can ignore that for now. Then we can pick a character focus. We can choose from 10 different foci, and they all have different advantages and disadvantages. For now, since we don't have any living family members, let's go for family, because it will give us boost to health, boost to fertility, and diplomacy is also not a bad thing to have. It's a bonus to a stat, and I didn't even explain stats yet. So every character has 5 stats, which are his diplomacy, how good he can deal with other people, his martial score, which shows you how well he can deal with other people. Oh wait, no, they are not the same. Yeah, how good he can fight, basically. And then stewardship, which means how good he is at getting money, governing realm, and stuff like that. Intrigue is how good he can plot against other people, and how good other people can plot against him. And learning, how good he is in the thinking capacity, which will help improve your country. Okay, then we have an ambition. Let's also pick an ambition. We have 5. Groom and Heir is really good because it gives you a fertility bonus of 20%, and that's what we want. But let's check the others first. We can build a war chest, which helps us increase our money. We can strive to acquire a title, which is good when you are important to your liege and he wants your support, and you can in this way try to convince him to give you a title, an additional one. This is also a possibility to increase your realm without having to go to war. Then you can try to become exalted among men, which is raising your prestige to 2,000 points, and it will give you a nice bonus of one additional point in diplomacy and prestige, and a bonus opinion boost to your direct vassals, and the same thing basically for piety. But as I said, crewman heir is really important in the beginning, so we will try to get a male child. We have Akhenaten. Okay, good. So we will lose our title, or dynasty will lose the title when we die, because we have no heir of our dynasty. So the most important thing in the beginning is to make sure that you have an heir. And to get an heir, you have to make an heir. And to make an heir, you have to have a wife. So we want a wife with good stats, good traits. And what are traits? So traits are these little pictures here, and they describe our character. Our character is a beautiful cleric, which is the second level of the learning focused characters. So he's not really that good. There's as you can see, this is like this. The silver color matches the silver color background of this. So there's learning, there's intrigue characters, which are purple. There's green ones, which are stewardship. Red ones, which are military focused, and there's blue ones, which are diplomacy based characters. And for you can see the level of it here. I have 2 pips, which means this is the second level out of 4. So he's a little bit subpar, but at least he's not a detached priest, which is basically net 0 to stats, while this is at least a net +2 to stats. And when you go to the big ones, then you get additional bonuses to health and personal combat skill and stuff like that, and it's really good. So you want to get characters with good education. So this is the education. So what other stats do I have? Ambitious. Ambitious is really, really good to have yourself, and really, really bad for your vassals to have, because they will try to make your life as hard as possible if they are ambitious and under you, because they don't want to be under you. Then there's the ones with a green background. The green background all are virtues, and the red ones all are sins. So there's 7 sins and 7 virtues. And every sin has a corresponding virtue. You can't have the same corresponding sin and virtue at the same time, obviously. So our character is temperate, which is a really good virtue to have, because it gives +2 stewardship. Wait, no, that's not the one I'm thinking about. Diligent. Diligence is really, really good, because it gives you a net +5 stats. Your vassals like that. And I'm also brave, which is a nice trait to have. It's not a virtue, but it's something else. Still a really good trait. In general, I think this is really nice stats to have. Okay, so we want to get married, and for that I click this button here, Arrange Marriage, which shows you a number of characters which are available. so to say. You can see here the age of consent in the Middle Ages is 16, so she would be eligible. This girl is a baby. She's 0 years old. She pops up in this screen because she's eligible to be betrothed. But we are not going to do that, because then we would be without a wife for 16 years, and in 16 years a lot can happen. So what we want is a wife that has stats that increase her likelihood of giving us a child. And I don't like the choices I have in this. This is only suggestions. What you can also do, and I would highly recommend, is look for her yourself. Don't let anyone make that decision for you. And how to find your wife will be the next video. See you then.